welcome to another episode of the Infield Chatter Podcast.
We got an intro song.
A little ditty, a little jingle, if you will. My name's Tyler. I'm joined as always with Eric Henderson. What's going on, Eric?
What up? What up?
Not much, baseball season, as we mentioned last time, getting closer and closer to being over with. We're about to hit September, which means we're going to be in playoff season soon.
Oh, it's getting good, I'd say. There's a lot on the line for still a handful of teams.
Yeah, and this is so cool because I was listening to an interview talking about like so many teams that know they're going to be in it are really trying to game like they have to start figuring out their pitching rotation now of how they want to get into the postseason. So it's got to be tough to be a manager and you start like looking at the schedule and like piecing out how everything's going to go. I mean, that's gotta be a tough job right now.
Oh yeah, I even started looking at just the schedules for the couple of the remaining teams. Like the Cubs have it's not the easiest, it's not the hardest, but like they're chasing the Brewers, and the Brewers have like the easiest schedule for the next 2 weeks.
I did look at that as well, but they have to play the Cubs to finish the season. So
that is true. That is the last.
I'm hoping that it comes down to maybe the last three. I mean, the Cubs have a tough end of the season. They have to play Arizona 6 times. They have to play Atlanta 3 times, and then they finish with the Brewers, and they have the Pirates in there. They have the Rockies 6 games, so that should hopefully, be 4 or 5 at least wins you can count on. So
right,
yeah, I mean,
yeah. So it's not the hardest, but it's not the easiest, I'd say. And then the Brewers have it a little easier. They got like the Cardinals coming up. Cardinals are trash.
Yeah. Cardinals, they got the Yankees who could be anything. The Nationals, not great. A lot of Cardinals games. Miami, tough.
Miami's in the hunt for that last wild card spot still.
Yeah, so they still have some people there. It'll be a good end of the season like schedule for them.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's great. Like and then for my team to have a stake in it at this point is pretty. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. So they're playing to win. And then like this team's it was a lot of 1-year contracts, so this team will be different next year. So it'll be pretty fun. I just recently found out that they had the Cubs designated Tucker Barnhart for assignment at some point down the road. I had no idea. So Yan Gomez is their main catcher. Is their number one all day, every day catcher.
Hey, I got no problem with that. He is a former, you heard it right, Chicago or Cleveland Guardian player. So I'm never going to be against watching my boys get out there and do something better later.
Yeah, he is like 50, it seems like, though. So he's like Grandpa Ross 2.0.
That's probably why David Ross is so excited to have him around. He's like these young kids.
These young kids, like Yan Gomez that I can relate to. But yeah, no, and it's just like, well, they paid Tucker Barnhart a couple $1 million to fucking designate him for assignment when they could have kept Wilson Contreras.
What are you gonna do? The guy can't hit. So I did see they're bringing up this prospect that it was a big story. Jordan Wicks potentially being called up on Sunday. He's a lefty. He's been 7-0 with us between AA and AAA, and he was drafted in the first round in 2021. So people are excited about him because I keep seeing this name and story pop up.
Okay, pretty interesting risk to bring up a rookie during the end season run, but all right, let's let it ride.
He's looking good, so maybe they think he's got the stuff to keep it going.
Yeah, and then I guess how it always goes when you make your debut, the hitters haven't seen you, so maybe he can fool somebody for a little while.
I mean, Cleveland's like pitchers that started this year had a lot of really good success with that, so maybe he could as well.
Yeah.
So we were talking wild card. We're talking the who's going to win each division. From a betting perspective, really the only 2 divisions that have like any uncertainty, it seems like, are obviously the AL West.
AL West is crazy.
Yeah, right now the Texas Rangers are favorite. And then the Astros and Mariners have the same odds to win that division, plus 170. And then The NL Central, Vegas actually does not think that the Cubs are going to come back. They have the Brewers as a pretty heavy favorite and the Cubs at plus 270 to come back and
Okay.
win the division.
Well,
So,
if I had $15,
yeah, you think they're going to make the comeback?
I think they have. I think that they can. I think it's on the table for sure.
I'll
Because
put a
I don't
dollar down on that then
because
for
I
you.
don't believe in the Milwaukee Brewers. Because I'm
uh,
a Cubs fan, and the Cubs, they are what they are. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You know who sucks though? The Brewers.
yeah.
So you got to go with history on that one.
I mean, can Christian Yelich just continue keep doing it for them, or
Yeah,
Patrick Corbin or whoever their one pitcher is?
yeah. They only
I
have like
don't
three
know.
players. Yeah.
Right, right.
So
Uh,
Carlos Santana, I guess that's what it is. Is they're making Carlos Santana gets you into the postseason.
we shall see. So yeah, so why don't you? So yeah, wild cards coming up. Teams are pretty close. What do you got? What are you feeling?
I've been constantly watching the NL wild card race. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty close. We right now today, the three teams that hold the wild card are Philly, Arizona, and Chicago Cubs, and it is like a one game, half a game difference. Every single day, something changes as far as the standings on the wild card goes. Because then, you got the Cubs closing out 67 and 61. Arizona's got 68 and 61, and Philly's got 78 50 or 70 and 58. And then chomping at the heels, we got the Giants with 66 and 62. Cincinnati's right behind them with 67. Miami's right behind them with 65. Like this, with there being 2-3 weeks left in the season, there's a 2-3 games difference between five teams in the wild card in the National League. So that's really what I've been watching the
And the
most
Reds
of.
actually have a very easy schedule too, I would probably say. I mean, they play Arizona a few times. They got to play the Giants a couple times. They got the Cubs for 4, but then they go St. Louis, Detroit, the Mets, Pittsburgh. Cleveland's not going to care at the end of the year, and then they end their season with the Cardinals, playing the Cardinals. So I don't
Okay.
know. It could happen for
No,
them as well.
it's really anybody's game. Arizona's kind of shocking me right now. They kind of rose into that wild card spot pretty quick, so I don't really totally know what happened there, but they hit a hot streak, and so every day it changes, and so every single game that the Cubs play, they need to win, and so I think it's been great. They have been showing up. Belly has been showing up. Belly has been shocking the world. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to him after this season because he'll be a free agent, and so because a lot of these 1 year contracts, and I'd say that one paid off for him because everybody was kind of talking shit about him, and he's kind of like leading the team right now.
Well, I was surprised when they picked him up because you're like, man, like some of the people they snagged, you're like, where are they really at or where are they going to be?
Yeah,
Like obviously they've had careers or history for a lot of them, but then you're like, are you grabbing them too late? Are you grabbing them while they still got some stuff? And
yeah.
yeah, Cody Bellinger is tied for first in home runs for the Cubs right now with 20.
Yeah, no, he's really been kind of the leader. Like there was a game the other night that ended with the Christopher Morel walk-off home run a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I heard it.
Belly.
Don't worry.
Oh yeah, yeah. You live close enough. I'm sure it
Yeah.
was crazy.
It was nuts,
Uh,
so nuts that I heard it and I go, I gotta check my phone really. I was like watching a movie or something and I was like,
yeah.
oh, the Cubs just walked it off with a grand slam. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah. No, it was magical. I had just tuned in at the bottom of the ninth inning, and they were down by I think one run or something like that.
Oh,
And Belly
that's the
was up.
best.
Belly was leading off the inning, and he cracked a double off the wall. And I was like, oh yeah, he's setting it up. It's gonna happen. And
Mhm.
so I even went back and rewatched that game a couple of days later just because they had lost against the Royals, and I was like, oh, I'm not watching. So I just rewatched the ninth inning with the TV feed, the radio feed, and then the
Mhm.
Spanish feed. So it was a pretty good. That was a pretty good walk off, I would say. And
Okay.
so and then the way Morel fucking raced around the bases had to be one of the top 10 home run trots in speed. He was flying.
Yeah, I mean it is a good team. Like it's undeniable that they can and should do something. It'll just be
Yeah,
interesting to see how it shakes out here at the end of the season. So, but
yeah,
they have my thing is they have so many like a lot of veteran players that you'd think they have like the stamina emotionally and like competitively to kind of close it down. So that would be
right.
my big thing.
It does seem like a very much a business mindset because I was watching the game a little bit yesterday and you see David Ross talking to Ian Happ before the game and like it was like everybody's seems kind of locked in. Everybody knows that it's fucking business time. Uh, and so I think they're my team, so it's like I'm pretty happy with what's going on. So
And you should be, because they're doing good.
they're
They're
doing
Go
good.
Cubs going.
Yeah.
They are going.
Yeah, and then outside of that, the AL
Yeah.
West, like pretty much a three-way tie today. Like Seattle, Houston, and Texas. Seattle and Texas are tied with 72 and 56. Houston's right behind them, 72 and 58. They've just played a couple more games that they've lost, and then I think it was just last night. Framber Valdez pitched another 7 inning no hit action. And so that one's probably. I mean, as far as
That was
that
a little bit of a
division race
sweat for
goes,
me. Yeah,
yeah.
I had Van Valdez to go over 5.5 strikeouts, and in the first 3 innings, he threw like 6 strikes total or something crazy
Oh,
stupid.
just
So I'm
playing
watching this
contact.
game, and I'm like, well, I guess I won't be winning this bet. And then from like the 3rd inning on, he was like, okay, I'll throw strikes again.
All right,
So
we'll strike out
yeah.
everyone.
So yeah, I mean they have the second best odds to win the AL West, Mariners third and Rangers first for that division. That's a cool one. No, it's fun. It'll be really interesting to see who can finish it off like on a high note, you know?
Oh yeah, no, that's like the division to watch personally, outside of the wild card action. I think that's gonna be one that breaks some hearts because the losers I don't even know if they get wild card spots. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, I don't think they do because the
The
AL
AL East is
East
so
is so
packed.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting though because Vegas's odds for the AL winner right now for all of the AL right now is the Astros. So it's
Okay.
interesting to think that the favorite for the whole AL is like maybe not even going to be in it right now.
Right.
Uh
No, it would be interesting to see how that plays out.
yeah, the Braves are the National League favorite to win the National League. Not really a surprise. And the Dodgers are second
Oh
in that
yeah.
one.
The Dodgers got hot. Lance Lynn, I don't know what happened in the Dodgers game last night, but before that he had pitched 3 games and he had a sub 2 ERA in his 3 starts with LA. So switching uniforms for Lance Lynn really paid off.
I man, I wish I would have like pulled the video, but somebody did a really good breakdown of like certain players that when they were at like I want to say it was like Dexter Fowler or somebody else from the Cubs to there and another guy from Chicago, Lance Lynn, obviously. And there we're like, once they moved from wherever they were to the Dodgers, like the Dodgers just have a good organization that supports people and they just turn it up once they get there.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, I can see that too because it's fucking Hollywood. It's one of the bigger markets. You want to be now you're around celebrities and shit. You want to be a fucking LA celebrity. You
yeah, they
want that
beat
Joe.
the
You want that Joe Kelly status. You want your mural around the city in Los Angeles. You want Mr. Cartoons to come out and spray paint your face somewhere.
Yeah, they won last night. He only had 1 strikeout, 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 3 earned runs.
Yeah,
So
pretty solid start still.
yeah,
Quality
not
start.
bad.
Yeah. No, he's one of my favorites, because he fucking yells at everybody, grabs his crotch and shit when he was striking people out. He's kind of nuts. He's like not low key nuts. He's like high key crazy.
Yeah, that's what's so great about like pitchers. They're like a little kooky because they're really in control of the game, so they kind of get to be the shit talker if they want to kind of
Oh
set the
yeah.
pace, and that's what
No.
I dig it.
Plus, in this world with bat flips and shit, when a pitcher strikes somebody out and is like "fuck you, motherfucker," like flexes on them, I think there should be more of that.
I mean, the
Let
only
the
guy,
pitchers have a little fun.
yeah, it's the only thing you really can miss about Trevor Bauer is him striking people out and doing the like
Doing his sword
sword
thing.
thing. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind having a good one if for when a moment's big enough to like pull it out. But if you like every strikeout, you're like, oh, sword. It's like, all right, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, yeah. That'll get you sent to Japan real quick.
Yeah, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's we do have our first breaking eliminated team, and that would be the Athletics. They are eliminated
Officially out.
mathematically,
Damn.
unfortunately. So you can start picking out
I
real
really thought
estate
they
in
were
Las
gonna.
Vegas.
I really thought they were going to turn it around.
I was watching a game and they were away and people were chanting sell the team
Oh,
during
no
it. Like,
shit.
it's like bad when you're
Oh,
getting like hometown heckles in,
yeah,
wherever it was.
whole world's on board.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, Oakland had a pretty good run, I'd say.
they had Moneyball made after them. So
Hmm.
what can you say? That's a real for me that's a sign of an achievement if they made a movie or something off
Yeah.
of
And I also personally think it'll be a sad day in history when they officially close Ricky Henderson Ballpark
Yeah, oh
because
yeah, that is
they named
sad.
the ballpark after my boy.
He's a crazy guy. He's
Yep.
awesome.
But he'll
Uh
fit right in Vegas if they need a mascot. Him and fucking Lil Jon can hang out. Imagine Lil Jon and Ricky Henderson hanging out, getting crunk.
Yeah, I think they said the paperwork has been like officially started to get like rolling for Vegas right now for them to relocate. The
Yeah.
application was filed 1 day ago.
Oh, 1 day ago.
The
Okay, there you go.
mayor of Oakland said they could demand that the A's renounce their team name, just so you know.
What does that mean?
Uh, that they want them if they move to
To
rename the
change,
team.
they won't be the Oakland Athletics, or they want them to change the Athletics
They
portion.
will need to get rid of the Athletics. It seems like.
That's pretty interesting flex considering the Athletics came from Philadelphia first.
As part of the lease extension, Oakland Mayor could ask Major League Baseball for the city to keep the rights to the name Athletics, forcing the organization to choose a new nickname.
Hmm.
They could seek Oakland to jump to the front of the line for a potential Major League Baseball team expansion team.
That sounds so backwards. They're gonna get rid of their team and then get a new team.
Yeah, I don't really know what the thought is for that, but
Yeah.
people much smarter than me have it written down, so
Yeah.
I will take their word as gospel, I guess.
This sounds like what Leonardo DiCaprio does with his girlfriends.
They're
It's
like,
just like, oh yeah,
sorry, we sold
sorry,
the
we
team.
sold this one. They're like, oh look, we bought a new one. She's young and fresh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that kind of goes in with the other thing, which was there's rumors right now that the White Sox might move to Nashville.
Right. I just heard this. That kind of shocked me. I had no idea there was even rumors. Jerry Reinsdorf is continuing his track record as being the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. And Nashville, I don't think they deserve a baseball team. I'm not gonna lie. But what's going on down there other than bridal parties and fucking cowboy boots? That's not a good place for the
Well,
White Sox.
the players would disagree with you because in a poll of amongst just players, Nashville was voted #1 expansion team that the players would like to see by a wide margin,
That
according
the
to
players
this.
would like to see. Huh?
According to the players, yeah.
They must love
This
that hot
was
chicken. Shit.
I mean, I think, and this might not be the only reason, but there's no state income tax in Nashville. So I don't know if
Oh,
that's 100% the reason why people would want to move a team and play there.
yeah.
Obviously, if you
I'd
play in
say
Florida or
that's got a lot
Texas,
to do with it.
yeah. After 100 players were polled, Nashville received 69%.
A's.
Which city do you think got the next most?
Is there options of cities that were polled, or is this just any city?
I'll give you all the options in no particular order, but you have to guess the right one. Austin,
Okay.
Vancouver, Montreal, Portland, Charlotte, Salt Lake City.
I'm gonna go Montreal.
Correct. With 10%, Montreal was
Only 10?
next.
It went from 69 to 10. Good
Yeah.
God.
Salt Lake City received 2% of the vote. No one
Yeah,
wants to
nobody.
move to Salt Lake City.
Right. Imagine watching a baseball game where no one's drinking beer. That sounds miserable.
The soda boys are back at it. The
Yeah.
cup snakes are just
The
a little
cups, yeah,
stickier
the
with
cup
sugar in
snake.
them.
Good God, diabetes central.
Yeah, so there's speculation for it, but according to I looked this up before we got on, the mayor of Tennessee said there's been no official conversation between the two. But the reason that they're talking about this is the lease is up in 6 years for the White Sox, and they've talked about a couple of things, much like the Bears. They want to like potentially move it out to the suburbs. I think everywhere is just trying to do kind of what the Cardinals are doing, to have like baseball village or whatever, like a
Mm-hmm.
whole complex set around it. I'm sure they want to throw a sports book in it to also grab a little bit of that sports book gambling money. And yeah, I mean, um, I don't really remember why did they say Nashville in the first place. Uh, yeah, I don't remember why, but yeah, they said there's been no official talk about it, but they are just throwing things out there. So
Okay, I didn't realize this was like a 6 year in the making. This is probably just some deep-seated rumor at this point.
yeah, you gotta if you're gonna like call your shot, you need to like sprinkle some breadcrumbs along the way before you
Right,
officially do it.
and then this could be classic Reinsdorf where he's creating drama because his team's not doing well, just so that it's in the something, so you give him something to talk about.
Well, and like between that and all the players saying like it's a shitty organization and no one really cares, and people are, I don't know if you saw that one report that came out about like they're just a bad organization and people have just been former players have just been trashing like the way
Oh,
it's
no
been
shit.
there. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll have to send it to you, but yeah, the
So I
White
got
Sox.
the 1919 Black Sox all over again.
I mean, I don't
Or-
think it's I wish people would get into a situation where they're constantly throwing games for money, but
Yeah.
I don't think that is exactly the deal. Um, I'll have to find. We'll talk about it another time or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
Like
this
I
sounds
can't
pretty
find
on
it.
brand for the White Sox, honestly. They've always been an organization where the players kind of hated the team. So, but I don't know. I can't really think of a world where the White Sox aren't in Chicago. So that would be a pretty interesting leap.
Yeah, I think like everyone wants to get all like in their feelings about it being in the South Side and all that, but like that is their thing. Like there's a lot of community pride in that, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate like it's in a part of the city where it gets like a bad rap, and doesn't help that there was a shooting at the ballpark yesterday that
Yeah.
they can't conclusively tell if it was from the outside or the inside.
Well, I
I
would,
don't
I mean,
really get
willing to bet
that.
it was outside because of the number of metal detectors you have to
That's
walk
what
through to get into the baseball stadium.
that's what
But
I thought as well. So
who knows? You
who
never know.
knows?
This is
Not gonna
America, baby. This is America, baby. There could
yeah,
be a shooting anywhere.
people can figure out how to bring guns in anywhere,
Hmm.
unfortunately. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the White Sox. I know like I would be interested to see if the Bears ended up moving, if they were like, "Hey, wink wink, let's put something together and make it a whole
Okay.
a little cross-pollinate the sports." But
Okay. Well, I mean, if
we'll
that
see.
is what they want, because they did that in Pittsburgh, and all their facilities are kind of along the river in Pittsburgh, and so
Philly's the same
you
way
hear a
where
lot
there's
of
just a
things. Yeah.
giant parking structure for everything.
Right, and it's kind of like that when it comes to Cleveland, right? In the baseball stadium next to the basketball stadium.
Yeah, Progressive is right next to Quicken Loans Arena or whatever they're calling it
Hmm.
these days. So yeah, I don't know, I'm a fan when you have things plopped together like that and a little sports city kind of thing going on. So
Right, because it's like you see what the Cubs did recently with Wrigley Field, and they kind of bought up and expanded the whole neighborhood into their own personal little compound, which I could see I could see teams wanting something like that.
mhm.
And so, but they just happened to be lucky because there was talks about losing Wrigley Field years ago, and then they ended up managing to buy all the stuff around it and turn it into a hotel and a big to do. And now it's like a vacation destination. You can just rent post up on that whole block right there for the whole weekend and have a pretty good family time. You
Or
know?
get real silly on Wrigleyville along Clark, and same deal. So yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, when I first moved here to like now, you can definitely tell they've like really cleaned up the image to make it something. So
Oh yeah, no, it is like it's much more of a destination than it even used to be.
mm,
Because there's a whole vibe around it with the sports book. I haven't even seen the sports book with my own eyes, but
crazy
uh,
big. It is funny
yeah,
because you can't place bets in it yet. They didn't get like the permit. So like there's just like a ticketing window where there's just people just sitting, hanging out, not doing anything. So
that's fine.
that's a lot of fun.
That's the future.
Anyway, we're getting close to the end here. My quick thing is I want to see the Orioles do really well. So that's going to be who I'm going to be probably cheering for the season. The rest
Yeah.
of the season, I've decided Cleveland has no shot really. So there's no point in getting my hopes up for nothing.
Yeah, no, I think if you were to poll the majority of baseball right now, I'd say the majority of people would be pushing for the Orioles to win the World Series. Either them or the Mariners, since the Mariners kind of popped back up into the race. But it would be nice to see Baltimore win it all this season, I think.
Yeah, it could be fun. So the only other baseball news, the Little League World Series is going on. The Mountain Region, and oh nope, I'm way past where I'm at. Never mind. It's close to. This is I like the Little League World Series just because it's fun for them to like have little kid quotes. I think like
Okay.
we're talking about Big Al, like
Yeah.
I'm just here to hit dingers. You got that
These kids are full of fun little statements.
Fun statements, and then I also think there's something like I was a small kid, so when you watch some of these kids that are huge and you're like, there's no way they're 14, and then you just see them at like, 6 foot tall, 110 pounds or something like that. And you're like, that is not how people are made in middle school. So that is astray.
Maybe the plastic in the water is making them super freaks.
These are science questions that you'll have to jump to Eric's science podcast to figure out the real
join my
answer.
conspiracy theory Reddit.
Oh God,
it's mostly about plastic.
Yuck. And yuck to plastic. Anyway, great episode. I don't got anything else. You got anything else you want to shout out?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and ask you a question here. You always ask me questions. Let's ask you a question. If you were to pick a city for an MLB expansion team that wasn't one of those 5 or 6 you listed, where would you go? Who needs the next show?
I mean, I think like putting it in a place where there's nothing would be cool. So like Bismarck, North Dakota sounds like a cool one to me, because
now we're talking.
If you watch like those high school football movies of like high school football players in Texas where they're the kings of the town, because there's like that's the big thing. I'd love to see like Major League Baseball players be in Bismarck. They go to the one Walmart that's in town. They get to kind of
the one Save-A-Lot.
Right. The one.
They're always
BP.
at that one Trader Joe's.
Right. Like I think it'd be interesting. It'd be a cool experiment to see what it would be like in like a not major city, just to plop a team in.
Truly big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
You just see him at the 7-Eleven buying smokes.
Yeah, right. What city would you want to see a team come
I was
to?
also thinking somewhere in the West where there's not a lot of shit. Like Boise would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Arkansas. Maybe we could throw Arkansas on the map. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
some swamp style base, some Ozarks baseball.
Get these Walmart employees something to root for outside of the Razorbacks,
Yeah. And so somewhere like that'd be fun. I think the food would at least be pretty good at the ballpark, place like that. A lot of crawfish and shit.
I do like that. Yeah.
Some fucking alligator hot dogs. I'm
into it. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for listening. The season's coming down to an end, so I appreciate if you've kept up with us or jumped in at any point. And like, subscribe, do all the things, follow our socials, blah blah blah. And besides that, thanks for listening, and have a fun rest of the season.